Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel, to the Cardano family. Let's take a look at what's happening with the price of Cardano today, as we are obviously going into Tuesday morning. Apologize, I wasn't able to give you guys an update over the last few days, just been quite busy. Apologies for that, but we're back on schedule. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel so you are notified every time we make an upload. So if we're looking across the board today, from a 24-hour time frame, you're seeing a little bit of a retracement within the market, and it kind of ties back to BTC. Bitcoin has seen a little bit of a minor pullback compared to where we were yesterday, and that has dragged the broader market down. Yes, there are some outliers, HBAR, Trump Coin, and a few others, but there are some news backing it. Trump Coin, not specifically. There's no news really, but HBAR, there is some big ETF news, which I will obviously discuss with you guys on the HBAR update. But as far as Cardano's price is concerned today, we're down about 2.4%, but I want you guys to focus over the last 1 hour. You have seen the market see a little bit of an uptick, which again is nice to see. Looking at the price of Cardano, 66.5 cents, down 1.7% on the Bitcoin side of things, with the valuation at 24.3 billion. But look at the 24-hour trading volume. It's back above a billion, to be exact, $1.1 billion. That is nice to see, of course, because a few days back, we were actually sitting below that. So that's a good sign. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer: anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. All right, so let's start off with the Bitcoin dominance index, because you're going to notice something very interesting taking place as far as the dominance is concerned. You could see we actually broke out to 59.9% after retesting this level. Again, a level that we've been discussing on the channel for quite some time. How I've been talking to you guys about, this is a level where we really want to see the dominance kind of pulling back down to, and it actually did that yesterday. But we did see the sharp move towards the upside. But look, the dominance is starting to show weakness once again, and you want to see that continuation pattern towards the downside really play out. But we need to understand that this week is very big. Thursday, President of China and President of the US are going to be having that meeting. And then obviously the FOMC meeting coming up on Wednesday. I think at this point, the probability of a rate cut is like 99%. So that's, I think, going to happen. Most importantly, though, the monthly candle close. We saw the largest liquidation in the history of crypto on October 10th. But Bitcoin actually has been able to go back into the green over the last 24 hours, which is very nice to see. Are we actually going to see the month of October closing on a positive note? If you've been watching the videos, if you watch my daily analysis updates, something I've been emphasizing is there's still a lot of days left in the month of October. A lot can still happen, and we're kind of actually seeing that right now taking place. But still do expect some volatility this week due to some of the key, events that are going to be taking place this week. But if you're looking at Bitcoin, Bitcoin actually has been on this retracement, on this downwards trajectory over the last 24 hours. You can see, we came up to 116,400, got rejected at that key range, Bitcoin pulling down, and the previous resistance, you can't make this up at this point. The previous resistance is now playing as a support for us, which is, of course, nice to see. But what's even nicer is the fact that the dominance is showing weakness. But now, if you're looking at the price of ADA, let's give it a refresh live actually to see what's really happening with ADA's price. So again, I'm going to show you guys the daily time frame first. Look where the price wicked up to. Let me kind of zoom in for you guys so you guys can get a better perspective. See this for yourself. Now, you guys are probably wondering what's the importance of this key range. This indeed is, the level where we want to see the price of ADA, kind of remaining within the 78.6 Fibonacci retracement level. And on this channel, we've been talking about it day in, day out. But I want you guys to go back to September 17th level, where we saw the price of Bitcoin going down to 103,000, almost filled a wick from October 10th. But you can see for yourself, ADA's price was at 59 cents. Since then, you have seen an increase of about 17%. So quite an impressive move towards the upside. But again, we look for confirmations on this channel. And when we talk about resistance, I look for confirmations whether or not how strong that resistance really is. And time out, we've been talking about this, and you can clearly see for yourself where we got stopped out, just exactly at that resistance level, which is, in terms of Fibonacci levels, that's the 78.6 Fib zone. And you can see we retested right on dot and then got rejected and seen a little bit of a minor pullback. So the fact that we have reintroduced ourselves to the 78.6, and markets heating up in terms of sentiment itself, it's actually shifting into bullish territory. And I personally project maybe this week we might see some volatility, but again, I think market will rebound. I think the worst is behind us, based off of my personal opinion, because there's not much interest for altcoins. Altcoins haven't done anything, to be quite frank with you, for quite some months. And now, I think we are going to see, that upwards trend really playing out. A lot of analysts are projecting that as well, but obviously there are some external factors that we do not know, that's not in our control. If that happens, we don't know what can happen with the markets, and of course, that is the risk factor. But take a look at it on an hourly time frame for ADA. Beautiful move towards the upside, got rejected, but the previous resistance also playing as a support for us. And it's replicating. We spoke about this in my last update, replicating Bitcoin's move. Like, you can clearly see for yourself how similar, these two charts are. You can see for yourself. So I like what I'm seeing here. Again, this week, as far as the close is concerned, especially the monthly close, we want to close it within the 78.6. But I like what we're seeing here, step by step. Of course, you cannot ignore some of these other levels that are crucial for the price of ADA. I know people like to talk about higher time frames. People like to focus more on all-time highs, but on this channel, pretty much the whole point of daily analysis is to really look at it step by step. So far so good. Like the setup here, and even from the crypto fear and greed index, it has turned neutral, first time since that major pullback. So again, in terms of a sentiment standpoint, that really tells you that market is kind of moving away from what ended up happening just a few weeks back. But again, step by step, let me know in the comments what you guys personally think. If you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please hit that red subscribe button. The remainder of the year, as I promised you guys on the channel, we're not missing any day. And it's been about, I think, 2 weeks since we're back on schedule. So no days off. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the Crypto ZX channel, and also follow me on X. I'm going to be engaging on X much more from now on. So if you're not subscribed to me, I'm sorry, if you're not following me on there, you guys are missing out. So please follow me on there. Love you all. See you later. It's been Crypto ZX, and peace out.